and let's put the spotlight on how there's been a major development in US-China relations. Now, President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, in fact, held a phone call today. This marks, remember, the second known conversation since Trump's inauguration with high-stakes issues on the table, in fact, multiple of them. But the leaders focused heavily on TikTok, the popular app facing that particular potential US ban, and what has, of course, come out of it. I'm going to put that into perspective. But more importantly, given how you're looking at operations come under American ownership with companies like Oracle and Silver Lake leading that particular charge. Now, President Xi emphasized respect for corporate decisions while urging the U.S. to avoid unilateral sanctions. This was by the reports that were reporting the same. But as far as the latest is concerned, let's put into perspective what U.S. President Donald Trump also reacted to this moments back, and I'm quoting the same, where Trump has said, "I just completed a very productive call with President Xi of China. We made progress on many very important issues, including trade, fentanyl, the need to bring the war between Russia and Ukraine to an end, and the approval for the TikTok deal." So clearly there has been a sense of a consensus as far as this is concerned. He's also said that I've also agreed with President Xi that we would meet at the APEC summit in South Korea and that he would go to China in the early part of the next year, and that President Xi would likewise come to the United States at an appropriate time. And the call was a very good one, is what Trump has said. And he's also noted that they will be speaking again by phone, appreciate the TikTok approval, and both look forward to meeting at APEC. So clearly, big development as far as what Trump has also said in that latest phone call that has transpired, but there's a lot to be decoding as far as this is concerned. And to be doing the same, let me take the opportunity to be introducing my guest this evening, Santosh Rao, Head of Research and Partner, Manhattan Venture Partners. Mr. Rao, thank you very much for taking the time out and joining me here this evening on Business at 9 on ET Now. Let's begin with the fact that how do you essentially first read into what has just transpired?
Yeah, I think it's rather vague. I don't know what positive and constructive means at this point. And he, at one point, he did say we reached an agreement, but then he said we're going to meet again. China has said don't jump the gun, let's talk more. There are a lot of other issues as well. So I think it's they moved the ball, I would say, slightly. The needle moved slightly, but not all the way. So yes, they're still in the game. There's a framework around it. They know who the investors are going to be. Now it's just kind of really getting very more granular and reaching the final point. So I think I would just say constructing, like exactly using his words, it was constructive, kind of move forward, but the deal is not done. It's not done till it's done. And President Trump, it's sometimes lose with the facts. And he just jumps the gun. He says it's done. We saw that with the wars, and he just goes ahead of the game. So I think until both the parties sign and agree on, I don't think it's done. So let's wait and see where it is. As far as this deal goes, it's moving forward for sure.
Right, Mr. Rao. Perhaps in a sense, when you talk about Trump language, deal and done, and those two words put in one sentence is always something that one would have to read between the lines. But what I want to understand with what we're looking at here immediately, does this particular reset with TikTok as well, in a sense, have better confidence in Chinese origin apps operating America, or does it only underline the risk of political intervention, given all that we've seen transpire with this earlier?
Yeah, I think it's the latter. I think the biggest disagreement is who's going to own the algorithms, who's going to own the whole IP there. And US wants to own that. China, I think they have agreed on the framework. The ownership is like 80-20 roughly, US 80, they 20. But the whole, I don't know if they have given up full control of the whole programming, the whole engineering behind all this. So it's going to be very political. It's going to have to go through the Senate and the House. There's already opposition to giving China any say in the U.S. matters. And this is tremendous access to data that China will control. So I think that's the main thing. And we'll see how far that goes. It's definitely going to get more political as we reach the finish line. I think we have the broad contours of a deal. President Trump wants it. He normally gets what he wants. Let's see where China signs off. I think that's the last holding point. I don't know if they have agreed to just give up control and the U.S. entity will drive the whole TikTok engine forward. I think that needs to be seen. That was the big question all along, and it seemed like it's getting there. China is agreeable to making a deal, but the terms of that deal, I think China is going to ask for more than just the TikTok deal. Let's wait and see. Like I said, there's so many balls in the air, nothing final yet. I wouldn't count on it till it's done, but the ball did move slightly to the right.
One thing that I also want to understand from your vantage point is that, of course, there is, of course, that little bit of a movement that has happened, but there is perhaps hurdles as well, regulatory hurdles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's what's holding this thing back. More than regulatory, it's just national security issues out there. So I think that's what the main thing is. So I think that's where it's kind of debatable as to which side gets how much leeway can the U.S. agree to give to China in that sense, but to Binance, which is essentially controlled by China, even though they deny that. But I think that's the main thing. It's mainly the security concern, national security concern at this point, and we'll see how much where that settles. But I don't think it's clear yet. Totally, they're moving forward, but this is definitely not done. And we have this whole hangover or overhang of this tariff deal going on the side, tariff talks going on. So I think that's another sticking point. At any point, if it gets very unfavorable and nasty, China can pull the cord out. So I think that's also there. So let's wait and see. I mean, it's like I said, I keep coming back to that. It's early, definitely positive, like Trump said, very constructive, like the Chinese said. But let's see where the final document or agreement lands at, and we'll wait and see. I mean, I'm sure we'll get a good sense in probably a few weeks. And I think
the situation, because it's developing, there is sense of momentum. Right. Right. I'm going to come back to that point that you're making about where they're going to be meeting, but I quickly want to, yes, please go ahead.
APEC meeting, I think that'll seal the deal if there is a deal. They said they're going to meet again.
Right. We'll have to wait and watch essentially as to how that's going to pan out. But I want to understand from your perspective, how meaningful is this deal going to be for markets? Does it truly resolve that uncertainty, that ambiguity?
Yes. I think it's a big deal for U.S. I mean, there's some amazing companies that are going to benefit. Oracle is going to benefit a lot. And so are there some other, there's going to be some knock-on effect also on other areas as well. But it's definitely a good thing that get this out of the way. It's a very popular app, and it has tremendous potential. If I was Facebook and Google, and those are ad-based companies, I think I would be worried, but they are pretty much ready for that as well. So I think it's going to be it's good for competition. It's going to really intensify the ad-based models, but TikTok has definitely is a very popular. It has implications across the board. It is a very popular app, and the next gen uses it, and I think even President Trump loves it. So I think it's all good stuff, and it has implications across the board for other companies.
Right, Mr. Rao. So in a sense, thumbs up, at least for now, given that positive talk that has come through, given how, Donald Trump has also pointed out. But stay with me. I'm going to come back to you, because before I do, I just want to tell our viewers what Wall Street is essentially looking like at the moment. Dow Jones currently trading at 46,143.86. In fact, has opened in the green, currently trading in the green with a points check of plus 1.44. The Nasdaq as well, current trading levels of 22,508.281. So again, there we're looking at how the markets in Wall Street have reacted. Mr. Rao, if I could come back to you quickly on as to how we're looking at the implications of this, and of course Wall Street reacting to it in a sense.
Yeah, I don't see an immediate reaction yet, because they know it's not done till it's done. So they're going to wait and see. I see Oracle's trading up, which is good. That means they see there's some benefit out there. But other than that, I don't see any immediate impact to the market as such. But it's another of the hindrances or noise out there that needs to be resolved so the market has a clear path ahead. So there's so many things in the air right now. We just got the interest rate cuts. Let's see what this tariff, where everything lands. And that's still overhang there. But other than that, I think the market is sensing that beyond this thing, there is some very good pro-growth policies that will take effect, which is pro-tax. The interest rates are coming down, some regulatory relief there, and things like that. So I think all that coming into the fourth quarter and towards the end, there's tremendous momentum in the market, and the companies reported great quarters all along, and they're expecting a good quarter in the third quarter as well, and going into fourth quarter. GDP is going at close to 2%. So I think all that is good. The macro economy is good. Companies are in good position. The inflation seems to be controlled. So we just need to take care of this noise here and there. But I don't think this has such a big impact on the overall market. I don't expect this deal to have a big impact, other than the fact that it clears a big hurdle and helps it's a popular app. It helps the people here that really want this app to stay in the US.
Right, Mr. Rao, a fair point that you make, but taking a cue from what you said about Oracle, right, and it is central to the structure. But from your vantage point, what I want to understand is, does this look like a sustainable ownership model or more of a stopgap arrangement to keep TikTok alive in the US, given we know the kind of following that it's also had?
Yeah. I think this is a sustainable model, especially with Oracle controlling, the whole data. They're managing that data. I think that's definitely doable, and it's priced in already because we know that this was telegraphed a long time back that Oracle would be. Even the whole setup, the ownership structure was also telegraphed a while back. So that was there's no surprise there in terms of how the final structure will look in terms of ownership. So it's all good in that sense. So I don't see any big surprises there. So it's definitely sustainable. It's long term, and it's a tremendous growth, tremendous impetus for tremendous capital to Oracle stock in terms of adding more demand for its services. So I think that's definitely a good thing. It's sustainable. It'll stay, and it will benefit. Oracle will benefit.
It'll grow. All right. But with what we're looking at here with TikTok, and if that can be essentially saved through what we're seeing here, could this, in a sense, become a precedent for how other Chinese platforms are treated in the West? Or too soon to be putting, a sense of that as well?
Yeah, I think it's going to be case by case. This was the biggest one because it's very popular here and it's done very well.
Yes.
But the other apps, I don't know yet. I think they'll take it case by case. Again, they'll go deep into it. And I don't think they're not here. Essentially, Chinese apps Americans don't have access to those things. It's mainly in China and other countries, I guess, around surrounding areas. But US really just the Chinese app that's really popular in the US is TikTok. And that's the only one that issue. And I don't see any kind of impact on the other stuff.
Talking about impact and also talking about Trump, Mr. Rao, do you see this as a political win for Trump ahead of the polls?
Yes, it's definitely a win, and he doesn't need that. He's not going to run again, so he doesn't need that. But he needs to win the midterm elections to keep his majority and pass all what he wants to pass. But what this shows is that Trump is ready to make a deal if the terms are right and things are okay. So it's not like across the board he hates everything and he's going to punish everybody if the deals are right. And same applies to India, where there's strong negotiations going on. I think at some point, if there is a benefit to both, I think they will discuss both, come to a consensus there as well. So any movement towards a conclusion, towards a consensus, towards a agreement, I think is good, because that way it shows where Trump is ready to make adjustments to his strong views about tariffs and other areas that he's onto right now. So he is flexible at some point, and he will compromise. I think in this case, first it was a no, absolute no, and then it became like just doable. So this is happening. It's a good step. It just shows that things are possible down the road.
Right. And with both leaders, which you were also putting into perspective, Mr. Rao, agreeing to meet at APEC and visit each other's countries, what I want to get from your point of view is, should investors see this as a genuine inflection point in the US-China ties, or perhaps just a temporary pause in a long-term rivalry, given all that we're looking at geopolitically that has panned out and continues to pan out, of course?
I think this meeting is important. I don't think they have met before since he came in the second term. So I think this is very good that they're meeting. But let's not get ahead. We thought that his meeting with Russia would solve a lot of things, which would settle the war and all that. But nothing happened. In fact, it got worse. So it really depends on how they play this one. It's a delicate thing. China is already on record saying that they need the trade negotiations to go well as well. So they want the U.S. to be very reasonable, very rational, and not very indiscriminate in terms of imposing tariffs. Similarly, I think here they're going to extract something out of this deal. They're not just going to give up easily. That's my take. Knowing China, there's going to be a lot of give and take to reach that TikTok, because China knows that U.S. wants the TikTok deal to go through. So they are going to negotiate. They will get a lot more than TikTok, I'm sure, out of this. And the meeting is important. It's a good messaging as well. It's good optics as well. Kind of calms the tempers down, cools the tempers down. So I think it's good. That meeting is good, and we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't put too much ahead of it, because we saw the same thing with the US-Russia meet, and that didn't go that well.
Absolutely. Right. So perhaps not to put all the eggs in one basket would be the larger messaging of this. But Mr. Rao, on that note, I want to thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us here this evening on ET Now. But for the moment, we leave the conversation at that. Thank you very much. Having said that, we're slipping into a quick break here on Business at 9. Stay with us this Friday evening. We're going to be right back with lots more on the other side. Don't go anywhere.